Okay. 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 Yo guys, Red Marble here, back again. Apologies, it's been a month. It's been a month without any full content, but I am back. I've been busy, unfortunately, with work and the like. So, but I'll be back on this channel and also my Red Devil Studio channel, amongst others. I've got a few projects in the line to bring you good content. So on this channel, Red Marble, I'm going to be doing a lot more movie reviews and game reviews, and a lot of backdated stuff I've got to put out. So I'm starting with the Northman. It was released like about a month ago, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents and let me know what you guys think. Remember, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marble. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch, so check that out. So yeah, guys, the Northman. I'll keep it brief, because if you haven't watched already, I don't think it's in cinemas anymore, but still check it out. But the general gist of it is this is basically built on the Viking legend, and you follow your main protagonist, basically a guy that's basically called, I think it's Almuth, I think, if you pronounce it Almuth, yeah, no, Amalith, I think, something along those lines. But yeah, you follow him as a kid, and essentially the plot is fairly straightforward. Okay, this is your typical revenge plot. He's a kid, he's as part of a very fierce Viking tribe. He looks up to his father, gets initiated in almost like a berserker wolf-like ceremony, which involves a lot of juju or witchcraft, Viking juju, let's put it that way. And he eventually finds that his father ends up getting killed by his uncle, obviously his father's brother, and his mother is stolen from her as well. He then flees and runs away because he's almost going to die, and he swears vengeance on basically this uncle, essentially. And essentially he ends up fleeing, he ends up going to slavery, joining these various Viking Nordsmen, basically, just around. It's a very, very brutal movie. I think there's one scene when he goes into this village, and then there's almost like berserker form. It just kills and slaughters people. It's very, very dehumanizing for him, and you see him getting more and more unhinged as the movie goes on, but all to basically find a way to get vengeance on his uncle, effectively. So he finds a connection where he's able to find where this uncle now is, who's now the head of the tribe. And ironically enough, what ends up happening is that the uncle, I think, also got displaced. So he was a king. He became the king of the tribe, and then they booted him out, basically. So he now lives in this kind of like field grassland area with like his crops and his slaves and various other people. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. So it's just funny. It's almost like the futility of it. People back then, like, you kill, you still, and at the end of the day, it's like, what is it for? Ultimately, you end up getting booted out by your own tribe and getting dethroned. It's just the end of the circle. So, but a man, Amalith, still wants to get his revenge for what happened to his mother and his father. And it's like, I'm going to rescue you, mother. I'm going to, give vengeance on your father. In interim, he basically finds love of like a slave woman that he gets an emotional connection to. You then find out that obviously, in order to, because the slaves want to revolt and he wants to get his vengeance, he eventually, via communication with various Viking witches or wizards, he gets the vision and momentum to do what he needs to do, and essentially it ends up with him killing the sons of the uncle that killed him, freeing the slaves, allowing the girl he's interested in, essentially becomes his wife, effectively a partner, and she ends up telling him that she's pregnant as they try and leave. But he realizes that he needs to take care of finished business, otherwise he's going to be followed for the rest of his days. And so she goes off to another land with the children. He goes back and takes care of business. You then actually find out later in line in a kind of a twist in that his mother, who he thought he was rescuing, actually plotted or wanted his uncle to take her away because his father was a brute, beat her, etc. And so this is almost like a shock to him because he's like, I dedicated my life to trying to rescue you. And I thought my father was a particular thing. And you can see the hatred, because it was almost like his mother didn't want anything to do with him, didn't want him to be around, etc. She tries at times to, there is a bit of a weird kind of like incest thing at times where they're just, where she's like, I see you're strong, so you can, and I can be your, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of power, but that's how it was, I guess, back then. A lot of power, a lot of influence, etc. You know, it's all about the power, isn't it? But eventually, he just can't take it, you know. So, and he ends up killing both of her sons that she had with the uncle, and eventually his mother. And then the film ends with a final showdown between him and the uncle, where they both go at it. They both end up, he decapitates his uncle and then he gets fatally injured, and it ends with him obviously seeing a vision of his kids and then going to, I think, Valhalla, I think it is. That's the general gist of it, to be honest. It was quite a, like, this got a lot of praise and from critics, and I thought it was a good movie, but I don't know whether this just got praised just because of how brutal and nihilistic it was, and that this guy wasn't a hero, obviously. He was a horrible person, just like everyone was. But in regards to the story, in my opinion, it was straightforward. There was like there was nothing particularly groundbreaking. It was a straightforward plot. The characters, for me, you know, they didn't really have that much depth. It was a simple motivation. I want revenge. I want land. I want power. I don't like being abused by X, Y, and Z. Like, there was nothing particularly, insightful going into it. It was straightforward. So, as a movie and as for entertainment and for brutality, if you like gore and if you like violence and if you like nihilism, then sure, have at it. But aside from that, for me personally, I didn't think it really offered that much. A lot of people saying that this is what 4 should be. Yeah, I'll hold tabs on that, you know. So I think that 4, I know 4 in the MCU has not been great recently, but you know, I don't necessarily think that this guy, the main guy Alma, had that much depth to his character either. He was just a very angry, vengeful man who maybe had a bit of, in quote, good in him because he freed the slaves and had a love interest and they had children. But you only saw that a few times. For the vast majority of the movie, he's basically a vengeful dude who is effectively a murderer, no different than any of the other people around him to get his own goals. He's selfish just like the other people around him. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Yeah, stay tuned for more content, guys. Have a nice day and cheers.